Alright, hello and welcome to part 2 of the basic login form, basic application tutorial, where we're going to be learning basic functions of Visual Studio, Visual Basic. So where we set off from, we had created form 1, and we had started to create form 2. So we've learned how to use buttons, text boxes, labels, panels, and also alter the appearance of the form itself. So now we're going to be learning how to use the timer. So double click on the timer there. Now, what we're going to do is we want our timer to every 2 seconds to flash. We want you have successfully logged in to flash every 2 seconds, pretty much. So I'm just going to make sure. So I just realised before we do that we need to code form 1. So we've created our form timer 1, which is all good, and we'll just create one last button for this form, which is going to be log out. So let's start coding. So we know to get into the code screen, I didn't show you this, you need to double tap on login or a area of the project you want to code. So I want to code the login box there. So delete all this, we don't need that. So button 1. Now what this is doing is every time the person clicks button 1, then whatever is in here is going to happen. So that could be a message box, that could be close, that could be anything. You can also change that to double click and key down, things like that. So we're just going to stick with click. So button 1 dot click. So if we've got our text box, remember our text box is called text box 1. Now if the text in text box 1 equals, I'm going to change that, sorry, to equals password, then. So what this is doing is, if the user enters password into text box 1, anything in here will happen. And we're going to make that form 2.show and then me.hide. End it. Now we want to do it, the user should know when their password is incorrect, so we're going to go else, message box, your password is incorrect. Okay, so now let's give that a quick test before we move on to the next step. So obviously our password was password, that's definitely not password. So your password was incorrect, all good. Now I'm going to write password in there, login, you have successfully logged in. Now to log out, we are going to go like this, form 2, so log out, double tap the log out button just before. Now we don't need to do any if, because basically as soon as the user presses log out, we're going to log out. First of all though, we need to go form 1. Now we're going to be altering something in form 1 from within form 2. I know this may seem a little bit confusing, but form 1, and remember our text box, you need to clear it. So to clear that, simply add nothing into the quotation marks there. Then we're going to go form 1 dot show, form 1 dot bring to front, so we want it to be brought to the front, and me dot hide. Okay, and now we also want to make little flashy buttons, so we're going to go timer 1, there's timer 1, so double tap on the form, we want timer 1 to start straight away, and then we also want the interval to be every 2 seconds, which is, we're going to use the thousands field, so 2000, and then for timer 2, to double tap that, sorry, timer 1, so if label 1 dot show, or dot visible equals true, then, so we're using our if function again, label 1 dot visible equals false. So what I'm going to do is, if label 1 is visible every 2 seconds, it's going to make it invisible, and then I'm going to do the complete opposite. We're going to swap that there, and we're going to swap that to true. So in theory, hopefully this will work. So we're going to log in using the password field. Password, we've successfully logged in. Wait 2 seconds. I can see it flickering. So let's alter this here. Let's quickly close that or delete that. There we go, so that's going away. in part 3 we'll fix that, and then obviously we need to test that logout button as well. So one more time there. So in part 3 of this tutorial we'll fix that issue. Cool, working. Alright, so stick around for part 3, you definitely want to watch that to learn how we can make that flashy thing happen.